Hey, welcome back. I always feel like, oh, I have so much to talk about this week, and then I get to the last episode, and I talked about everything. But this is the last episode I'll do, so next week I should be finished with the game. But yeah, I had a feeling like there's not too much to talk about after that first scene with Dina and that stuff. So I do have time to talk about my notes. But yeah, I felt like I might be uncomfortable yesterday talking about that stuff, but it's like the solution is always just to talk. That's always been my problem. Just never felt comfortable talking. I do feel a little bit comfortable talking here. Still not 100%. As a problem is just I don't have anybody to talk to that I feel like 100% comfortable. Like I could say anything I want. Like I do here, kind of. Kind of need that person. I should be making stuff. I'm not using my traps or anything. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, we are like kind of right at the end, I think. There's still a couple more enemy areas till you get to the end. What? Where do I go? Oh.
There it is.
Ah. Did he see me? No. I kind of had some random notes I could do. Oh, don't turn, don't turn. I got you. Shut up, you shut up. I was listening more to that very presidential podcast where she kind of just like rips into presidents and saying they were terrible people. I kind of like that podcast. She was talking about Andrew Jackson. I've always kind of heard that Andrew Jackson was, he's most famous for the Trail of Tears thing and like being mistreatful of Native Americans. I knew that. Gonna let him go. You're free. Okay, now do something. Go over there. I don't know. Get somebody, come on. No, you don't. No, you don't. You think he saw me? Do you think he saw us? Get him. Do you think he saw us, Rex? So this quote was interesting to me. From quote, I paraphrased. I don't remember what the exact quote was. Quote. I did air quotes for when I said quote. Quote in quotes, because it's not a real quote. Ah, that's a bad idea. There's a lot of guys here. Oh, he's wearing a chest protector. Sorry. He said of abolitionists who wanted to abolish slavery, the worst thing ever. They should pay with their position with their lives. That made me feel a little bit better about our current situation. Imagine if the president was like, we should have slavery. At least we don't have that. That's a position that the president of the United States had. People say, oh, this is the most racist president. I think they're being hyperbolic. I mean, he's racist, for sure. But he's not saying we should have slavery. So, I mean, that's not nothing. It's really, it feels like that's nothing. But it's not nothing. I understand why a Democratic leader can't say that. Like, well, at least he's not, you can't really say that because we should want better for the president. But it makes me feel that's the common theme I keep coming back to is like, well, just try to make yourself feel better because there's no point feeling bad. You're not doing anything constructive. You're just making yourself feel bad for no reason. So anything you can do to make yourself feel better is good. And that makes me feel better. And I understand why political leaders can't say, well, at least he doesn't want slavery, right? We should be asking for better than that. But it makes me feel better, so. My throat hurts. Talking too much today. I can't really free those guys. I could shoot him. That might be everybody. Yeah, I think I'm actually like right at the end. There's like one more area after this, I think. You pretty much just find Abby. Oh boy. So the next time I record, it's just going to be like 2 episodes or something. The last episode I do, it's always longer. Like I do a finale where it's like, oh, it's 40 minutes long. Oh. Oh. Oh boy. Oh shoot. Oh, I got him though. Stop shooting me. I don't like it when you do that. Ooh. Where are they coming from? I don't have ammo. Okay. This is how I know that the idea that video games make you violent is not true, because can you imagine anything more violent than this? And I still felt bad when I killed that mouse. Ah. Like really bad. Oh. There's a lot more guys than I thought. They keep coming. It's gonna take a lot of shots, but shoot. That was dumb. Where you going? Heal, 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 heal. What's my other tiny note? I was just gonna maybe talk a little bit about the haunting of Hill House, but I don't really have time. I liked it a lot. Spoilers for the end. I remember watching it and not really understanding some of just like how it worked. What were they trying to say? I get a little bit confused when they're trying to say a lot of stuff. Like, okay, spoilers for the last episode. One of the major plot points in the end is that the mom of the family is really worried about her two kids who are really young when she dies. The mom dies in Hill House, which is haunted, when she's that's kind of a lot to explain, but the series takes place over two timelines, like one when they're younger and one when the kids are older. And when the kids are younger, they live in this Hill House, which is haunted, and when they're older, they're kind of like revisiting their past and stuff, which I really like. I really think like I could probably finish this in one more episode. But I think that's it for today, and I'll just finish my note about Hill House. So the mom is worried about her two youngest kids, who are like 5 years old, when she dies. The reason why she dies is the ghosts of Hill House convince her that they prey on this worry that she has, that the outside world, like any mother would have, is like, my pure young kids, when I send them out into the world's going to eat them and prey on them and kill them. So I need to keep them here, to keep them safe. And the ghosts in Hill House are kind of telling her that, like, don't let them leave. They're going to be eaten by the outside world. Keep them here. That's safe. And eventually Hill House convinces her the only way to keep them safe is to kill them. I like the idea that Hill House is like this entity that is trying to keep people in it, because the ghosts that live there are lonely and they want company. So, and the only way they can get company is for people to kill themselves in the house, or to die in the house. So it does whatever it can do to kill people in that house, so the ghosts there aren't as lonely. It's also kind of cool that they have this biological explanation, kind of like in Last of Us, where like there's this room in Hill House that nobody can get into, and it's covered in this black toxic mold. So that's like another component that like the mold makes the people in the house go crazy. But the first time I watched it, I had a hard time trying to think of... I always have this hard time sometimes. Always, sometimes. Trying to think, like, ooh, like what I have with this game. What's good about this? Like, what are they trying to say? Like, what's cool about the story, about the characters? What's interesting? And watching Hill House back a second time, I finally got, like, oh, this is cool because I never really understood, like, just the mythology of, like, how the ghosts work. And once I understood, like, the ghosts are lonely and they want company. And the rule is, if you die in the house, you stay there as a ghost. So the ghosts kind of make you think you're crazy. Like, they don't want you to trust other people. They do stuff like that. And so throughout the series, that's what they're doing to the mom. They're making her crazy. She's like she's like going crazy. So that eventually she kills herself. Because that's what the ghosts want. And it makes sense. Why did she kill herself? I don't remember. But the ghosts kind of convince her, like, well, that's the best thing to do. But they're tricking her because they want company. And there's a ton of other cool stuff in the show about, like, I like the Steve character who's, like, the super, doesn't believe in ghosts or anything, even though he lived in a haunted house. So he's like, he's talking to his dad, and he's like, Mom was mentally ill and you didn't try to help her. Like, Nellie, my sister, was mentally ill and you never tried to help her. Ghosts aren't real. These people needed professional help. I like that character in this story. He's kind of cool. Anyway, that's too much talking. See you tomorrow.